Hey, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then welcome. My name is Maddie, and today I'll be sharing my Fruits Basket characters as songs from the Red album, specifically the Vault tracks by Taylor Swift. So this is part 2 as my Fruits Basket as characters from the Red album. I did part 1, which is where I covered all the songs from the standard part of the album, but in this video I'm going to go over the bonus track as well as all the tracks from the Vault. So we have 12 songs to go through, and I have characters and couples lined up for all of these. Actually, for these songs I used a lot of the same couples and characters. It just turned out that way for these songs. So this list might get really repetitive, and I'm sorry about that. But these were just the characters and couples that I found most fitting for these songs, so I couldn't help it. And as a reminder, or if you're new to these videos of mine, if you don't know how I do these, what I do is I go track by track on the album and pick a character or couple from Fruits Basket that I feel like best represents that song and describes them perfectly, and just talk about why I think that is. And for that reason, this video will include manga spoilers, so if you have not read the manga or seen the anime and you don't want to be spoiled, then I'd recommend not to watch this video because I will be going over canon couples and I don't want to spoil you. And with that said, let's just get started. Track number 1 is The Moment I Knew, and the lyric I chose for this one is, "What do you do when the one who means the most to you is the one who didn't show?" And for this one, I picked Kureno and Arisa. So the song is all about the disappointment you feel when your partner does not show up to your birthday party. It is a really sad song, and it makes it even sadder because knowing how Taylor actually went through this, where her boyfriend just decided not to show up to her party. That is your boyfriend. How can your boyfriend not show up to an event that means so much to you? We don't stand Jake Gyllenhaal over here. For real. Like, what a douche. But anyway, yeah, that was horrible. And you really feel the sadness that she conveys in this song. It's pretty hard to listen to. So I chose Kureno and Arisa for this one because with their relationship, it's all about missing each other. And I feel like Arisa went through a long period where she just wanted to see Kureno again so badly, but he never showed up to the convenience store again. She hoped and waited for him to show up, but it just did not happen. And that's why I feel like they really fit this song, because it's that waiting on Arisa's end for Kureno to show up and it just not happening that makes me feel like they really fit the song in the saddest way. She waited and waited on him, and that waiting must have been really, really hard because she was so infatuated with him. She wanted to know more about him, but Kureno could not leave the Soma estate again. It was just really sad. And the next track is Come Back, Be Here, and I'm going to say kind of the same things that I already said with The Moment I Knew. You'll see in a moment. But the lyric I chose for this one is, "This is falling in love in the cruelest way. This is falling for you when you are worlds away." And I also picked Kureno and Arisa for this one. So this song is all about being in love with someone who is on the other side of the world. So it's about a long-distance relationship and how hard that is because you desperately want to see that person again, but you can't easily see each other. And like I just said while explaining The Moment I Knew, Kureno and Arisa's relationship is all about just really missing each other and not being able to see each other because of Kureno's circumstance where he can't leave the main house to be with Arisa. And even though Kureno isn't on the other side of the world, they're not separated by a long distance. That distance feels so long because Kureno cannot get out of that house. That's why I still feel like they convey the feeling that is shown in this song of desperately wanting to be with someone but you just can't. It's a running theme in their relationship. The next one is Girl at Home, and the lyric I chose is, "I just want to make sure you understand perfectly you're the kind of man who makes me sad." And for this one, I chose Mayu and Shigure. So this song is all about someone who resists the advances of a guy who has a girlfriend, and they're like, "We're not going to start anything up because you already have a girlfriend and you need to go see her." I love this song. There's so many fans who don't like this song. I don't know why this song is so hated on. I just absolutely love it. I think it's really different from other songs that she's written theme-wise, so I don't know why it's so hated on, but that's besides the point. Going into how I think it applies to Mayu and Shigure. So I don't feel like every single lyric in this song applies to them because the song is about resisting a guy trying to get with you because he already has a girlfriend. And 𝑠higeru didn't have a girlfriend. I mean, I don't think 𝑘𝑒 was his girlfriend at the time. Or they had just broken up. I think they were broken up by the time 𝑠higeru dated 𝑚𝑎𝑦u, I'm pretty sure. So, no, he didn't have a girlfriend at the time. But I feel like this lyric kind of describes them in a really silly way because 𝑠higeru is just, he's so morally gray. And 𝑚𝑎𝑦u understands that. And 𝑠higeru does a lot of things that just come off really irritating, and we know how much he irritates 𝑚𝑎𝑦u. So the line, "You're the kind of man who makes me sad," kind of reminds me of 𝑚𝑎𝑦u's feelings for 𝑠higeru, where she's just like, oh my god, he's too much. That's kind of why this song reminds me of them. That's the closest I could get because this song was a really hard one to pick for the characters, but I applied it in that way. The next one is 𝑟𝑜𝑛𝑡. I have really strong feelings about this song. I hate listening to it because it's so sad. It's one of her most sad songs because it goes over the theme of death, which death is always going to be a very heartbreaking subject. So this one I rarely ever listen to because it's so sad. So the lyric I chose is, "What if I really thought some miracle would see us through? What if the miracle is even getting one moment with you?" And for this one I chose Toru and her mom. So this song talks about a mother's feelings after losing her child in death. This is an actual thing that happened. So Taylor wrote this song for a mother who just lost her son to cancer. And it's for that reason. It's one of her most saddest songs. I cry most times I listen to this one, which isn't much because I can barely stand to listen to it because it's so sad. And what makes it sadder is that it comes from a real life scenario. So because this song goes over the theme of death, and because Toru lost her mom in death, that's how I apply them to this song. And this lyric specifically because Toru really wishes she could have another moment with her mom because she lost her so suddenly. It's not hard to believe she wishes she had more time with her. And I really wish she had that. I really wish, like a lot of fans, 𝑘𝑒 wouldn't have died. But at the same time, if she had lived, that would have dramatically changed the events of the story. So her death served a purpose, but it doesn't make it any less easier to watch. The next one is Better Man, and the lyric I chose is, "I'm hanging on every careless word, hoping it might turn sweet again like it was in the beginning." And for this one, I chose �Աkito and 𝑠higeru. So this song is about someone being disappointed in an ex-lover because they were so sweet to you at first, but then over time, they just started to turn cruel and cold towards you. And I really feel like that sums up the fallout of �Աkito and 𝑠higeru's relationship. �Աkito just felt like 𝑠higeru had turned so cold against her, which he was really cruel and cold against her. But as we also see, 𝑠higeru appears to be cold towards �Աkito because, like he said, he doesn't want to act like her father. When you compare that to how all the other older soulmates treat her, they treat her with kindness and as if she were their child, but 𝑠higeru doesn't want to play the father role with her. But �Աkito misinterprets that as him being cold towards her. But I kind of take it as 𝑠higeru's cruelness towards her as being equal level with her. It's a very interesting dynamic. The next track is Nothing New, and the lyric I chose is, "I wake up in the middle of the night and I can feel time moving." And for this song, I chose a specific character, and that is Toru. So this song, it's a really interesting one. It's all about someone who feels like they've lost their novelty and is not the new, exciting person to everyone that they used to be. This song made me so sad when I first heard it because I hate for Taylor to feel like she isn't exciting to everyone anymore and she isn't relevant anymore, because she is absolutely not. She's always been at like the peak of her career. It's amazing. I don't feel like she's fizzled out at all, but I don't blame her for having those feelings of feeling like you're not the exciting new artist you once were. But she is nowhere near in that realm, so I hope she doesn't feel that way anymore. Anyway, this song reminds me of Toru, and the reason being is just based off this lyric where it says, "I can feel time moving." As we see in season 2, one of the early episodes, Toru is really afraid of change and what's in store for her in the future because she doesn't know where her life is going to be. Right now, she's living with the Somas and she's happy with them, but in like 5 years, where is she gonna be? Is she gonna be living on her own? She's stressing about whether she'll have a job. And that's all very, very relatable. I really related to her in that moment because I am also someone who fears change and am afraid of where I'm going to be 5 years from now, if I'm going to be in a good place. I worry about that too. So I really felt for Toru when she went through those concerns of where she's going to be in the future. And it turns out her future ended up being super bright because she's in a happy place. She's with the guy that she loves so much. She's in such a great place. So I'm really glad that things turned out well for her. The next one is Babe, and the lyric I chose is, "I break down every time you call. We're a wreck, you're the wrecking ball. You said no one else, how could you do this, babe?" Another one I chose for Akito and Shigure. So this song is all about the heartbreak that comes after your ex-partner cheated on you. And that's why I feel like it really fits Shigure and Akito, because Shigure kind of cheated on Akito with her mom, which makes it even worse because that's her mother. And Akito obviously had been pretty wrecked and heartbroken over that. The next one, I love this song. I think it might be my favorite vault track, although that's very hard because there's so many good ones, but I love this one so much, and that is Message in a Bottle. The lyric I chose is, "You could be the one that I love, I could be the one that you dream of. A message in a bottle is all I can do, standing here hoping it gets to you." And I felt that Kureno and Arisa also fit this one. So this song is all about wanting to tell someone that you love how you feel about them, but they are really far away. They're like at the other side of the world, so you can't really do it. And like I said earlier, for the moment I knew and come back be here, distance is a huge theme that goes with Kureno and Arisa's relationship. So I feel like Arisa always wanted to build on that relationship and get to that point where they could fall in love with each other but couldn't because of the distance between them. And that's basically the whole theme of this song, so I thought it was spot on. The next one is I Bet You Think About Me, and the lyric is, "Now that we're done and it's over, I bet it's hard to believe, but it turns out I'm harder to forget than I was to leave, and I bet you think about me." I feel like we're getting so repetitive. I know I warned this at the beginning of the video, but I'm repetitive with this one, and I also chose Akito and Shigure for this one. So this song is about someone betting that their ex is still thinking about them even though they have broken up. And actually, although I feel like in some ways this does apply to Akito and Shigure, because Akito's obviously wondering if she's still on Shigure's mind, like we see that sometimes. But I think this applies to Akito's relationship with the Zodiacs overall, because she's someone who always wants to be at the center of the Zodiac's lives. She always wants to be at the forefront of their minds. So yeah, I feel like this one doesn't only apply to her feelings for Shigure in this regard, but to all the Zodiacs. She just wants to be the center of attention, but that's because she's programmed that way. Because this family decided to tell her that you're the special one, that everyone of the Zodiacs lives for you. So that's why she's like, oh yeah, they're always thinking about me. Which is frustrating that the family ingrained that into her, because that really messed her up big time. It's annoying. I really feel for her because of that. Oh, this next one, I was so excited to talk about this track because my gosh, it fits so perfectly. So the next one is Forever Winter, and the lyric I chose is, "He says he doesn't believe anything much he hears these days. I say believe in one thing, I won't go away." So this one reminds me of Kyo and Toru. Oh my god, this one is also so sad. So many just heartbreaking songs on the Red album, really, but we already knew that. But this one, it is about being concerned about the mental health of someone you love and wanting to be there for them and help them get out of this dark place that they're in. And I mean, that's just Kyo and Toru's relationship to a T. And actually, this was the first song on the vault tracks where I just knew immediately, like second listen, I was like, this is Kyo and Toru. Perfectly. It came to me so fast. And that's because Kyo, as we know, is in a very bad place at the beginning of the series. And he is super depressed, has such low self-worth. And for that reason, he struggles with finding a purpose. He doesn't know if he even wants to be alive at some point. But Toru comes in and helps him feel better about himself and shows him that she does care for him, wants him to be here, doesn't want him to go away. This song actually just reminds me so much of her feelings for him during the True Form arc, where she's telling him, I want to stay with you, I don't want you to go anywhere. And this lyric where it says, I say believe in one thing, I won't go away. She promises him in that moment she ain't going anywhere, she's gonna stay with him. And that's why I feel like they fit this one so well. And I have listened to this song and just cried when I think of it in terms of Kyo and Toru. Oh, it fits them way too well. The next one is Run, and the lyric I chose is, give me the keys, I'll bring the car back around, we shouldn't be in this town. And another one that does remind me of Kyo and Toru. So this one is about wanting to leave town with someone you're in love with because the place that you're at right now doesn't allow you to really be together. You're faced with too many obstacles, and you feel like if you were to just run away from it all, you two would be better together and be able to grow together. And as we know, Kyo and Toru are faced with a lot of obstacles that get in the way of them being together. And Kyo specifically says at one point, it was after his meeting with Akito, when he was with Toru on the beach, I remember him saying that he wishes they could just get away from here and be together. So that's why I feel like they really fit this song, because it's a song all about just wanting to run away from it all, just, you know, skip town, go off together, far away from where you're at, because you feel like if you did that, you could probably be together. And Lord knows Kyo and Toru deserve that. And I think that is another reason why they decided to leave town when they actually got together. I think they really needed to get away from where they were at because this place didn't really allow them to be together in the proper way. So I'm glad they moved out of the town, moved to the countryside where they could just properly start their relationship together. And the last song is The Very First Night. I also adore this one. It's so upbeat. And the lyric I chose is, I wish I could fly, I'd pick you up and we'd go back in time. I'd write this in the sky, I miss you like it was the very first night. This one, okay, we're going a little different now. I'm not going to be repetitive anymore. And for this one, I chose Kyoko and Katsuya, which is Toru's parent. This song is about someone wanting to go back to an amazing night you had with someone you love. And the reason I feel like this fits Kyoko and Katsuya is because Kyoko, a lot of the time, we see her reminiscing on the time that she spent with Katsuya. We know that she does tell Kyo about her time with Katsuya and how they fell in love with all that, so she's constantly reminiscing on their relationship. And because the song is about someone reminiscing on the very first amazing night they had with someone they really care about, I feel like it fits them really well. But unfortunately, they can never go back to the times they had together because Katsuya died. So I feel bad for Kyoko on that part because she's left feeling with that loss and knowing that she can never get that period of time where they were together back. But at least she has the memories. So that is it. That is all the tracks from the Red album. I don't know which Taylor Swift album I'm going to do next. I'm wondering when the next Taylor's Version album is coming out. I feel like it's going to be Speak Now. I just have a really good feeling, and that would be great because Speak Now is my favorite Taylor album, so I hope it is. However, I have already done a Fruits Basket Characters as Songs from Speak Now video, so Speak Now is the next one. I'm only going to be doing the songs from the vault, which should be amazing. But yeah, I don't know what the next one's going to be, so we'll just see with time. But I still want to do these videos and finish off all of her albums because I love doing these. Let me know if you agreed with any of my choices or which characters or couples you feel fit these songs in the comments. I would love to know, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more anime related videos and book related videos. Also more Fruits Basket content in the future. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, those links will be in the description box, and I'll be back really soon. Bye!